What is up, Elevate Chicago? I know other people are going to watch this video, but this is for Elevate Chicago. So I wanted to do a video just specifically on sales. I've been in sales since I was 12. I used to go door to door and sell candy. So that just shows you where I'm at. But also I used to run a sales company. I taught a lot of salespeople, thousands at least. And then I used to do seminars, so I used to teach sales there as well. We had like one segment that was just about sales. And we had like 7 bullet points, but I'm going to share with you just 3. So this is going to be the best 3 minutes you've ever listened to, so pay attention. The first one is one that I tell people all the time. Qualify before you testify. I'm going to say it again. Qualify before you testify, which just simply means that a lot of times the reason why you're not making more sales is because you're talking to a lot of people that are unqualified prospects that don't want to buy anyways. So you have to create a system in your business that qualifies people first to make sure that they're buyers, that they're actually interested in buying right now. Because if you don't do that, then what ends up happening is you waste a lot of time meeting with a lot of people that weren't going to buy from you anyways, right? Number 2, when you're selling, it's 90% emotions, 10% logic. Really quick example, nobody buys a television because it logically makes sense. People buy a big television so they can show it off, and so when people come over and say, oh, it's a big TV, now today TVs are so cheap, so it's not impressive anymore, so people will find other ways like buying a car. People will buy with emotions and they will justify it with logic. Like they'll buy a car that's way too overpriced, but it's beautiful, it looks amazing. So what they'll do is they'll buy the car and then they'll justify that I need a reliable car, blah, 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 blah. So what that means is that when you're doing selling or selling anybody, work on emotions. Talk more about the emotional problem they have, right? The challenges they are, because your job as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, as a salesperson, is to sell them to that you solve their problem. But in order to do that, you have to work on their emotions, right? You sell them on emotions, you justify it with logic, right? And then the last one is basically selling is not telling. So one of the things I used to tell all my reps when I used to run a sales team and sales company, selling is not telling. You need to spend more time asking questions instead of just talking about what the product and service you offer. Because again, when you lead with your ears and you ask the right questions, the person starts to convince themselves that they need the product or service because you ask them questions. And when you ask people questions, you make them think, right? And too many people like try to like spit out what they sell, spit out what they offer, because they just trying to hurry up and make the sale. But if you ask questions and you are selling and not telling, that's how you do it. When you're asking a person a question, it makes them think, it starts to convince himself. And the greatest salesman in the world makes you believe that it was your decision. So I hope you guys learned from this sales video. I definitely can teach a lot more on sales. Just ask me. I love teaching. I don't charge for that. The only time you got to pay me is when you ask me to do some work.